Please join me in welcoming Mr. Andrew Morrisroe, member of the Board of Trustees, to introduce our second honoree, Mr. William R. Sasso, Esquire. Mr. Sasso, please come forward for the presentation.
Mr. President, I have the honor of introducing Mr. William R. Sasso, Esquire. Mr. Sasso, you have a long history of devoted service in the Philadelphia area. Since 1994, you have been chairman of Stradley Ronon, which now has over 200 attorneys in its employ. You are a leader and expert in the field of law. The Legal Intelligencer gave you a Lifetime Achievement Award for being among the best of the Pennsylvania legal community has to offer by moving forward the legal profession in the state. You are also the only practicing attorney named as one of the 23 most influential business people in Philadelphia by Philadelphia Business Journal readers. You have supported this city by serving on the board of advisors or directors for a number of Philadelphia organizations, such as the World Affairs Council of Philadelphia, the Free Library of Philadelphia Foundation, and the Philadelphia Holocaust Remembrance Foundation. Bill also serves on the board of the Children's Scholarship Fund, which provides inner-city children's scholarships, and the number has amounted to over 5,000. This is an example of your commitment to education of all levels, and it is to be commended as well. You're named one of Philadelphia Business Journal's outstanding directors in 2015 for your work with the Children's Scholarship Fund. You were a founding trustee of the Leo Neeson Jr. Charitable Foundation, which provides educational and healthcare resources for inner-city youth and women in need. You have acted as special counsel to the Montgomery County Higher Education and Health Authority. To Philadelphia University, you have been a great friend, particularly in support of the Arlen Specter Center for Public Policy at Roxborough House on our campus. It is with gratitude for all of these accomplishments and the highest praise and honor that the Board of Trustees of Philadelphia University recommends that Mr. William R. Sasso, Esquire, be awarded the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Mr. Sasso, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Board of Trustees of Philadelphia University, I do hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Sasso.
For a kid from Philadelphia, born and raised here, to be honored by its greatest university, is truly overwhelming. Thank you so much. Trustees and faculty of Philadelphia University, parents and family of today's graduating class, I thank you for the privilege of allowing me to join you for this 131st annual commencement ceremony. I must admit, I was overwhelmed when President Spinelli asked me to present this address, and quite frankly, I wondered why I was chosen. The answer came at a private dinner last night when I overheard a conversation that I didn't think I was meant to hear between President Spinelli and Dr. Baker. Dr. Baker asked Steve, "So why is Bill giving this address? I've never heard him speak." Steve seemed a little embarrassed and said, "Well, I've never heard him give a good speech, but he always gives a short one." And I'm a glasses half full guy. So I decided that was a compliment, and hopefully today I will break my record and give a good speech, and one that's not so short. Let me begin by saying to the trustees, faculty, parents, and family here today that this event marks the end of a journey for the graduates who sit before me, and the beginning of perhaps the most exciting chapter of their lives. The fact that they are here today, minutes away from being alumni of this most excellent university, is not only the result of their efforts, but is due to your support, your guidance, your love, your persistence, and your unflagging belief that in their ability to succeed and to achieve. Congratulations to you for the difference you have made in the lives of these young men and women. If they change the world, know when they change the world. You will own a part of that. I know in the coming years, these young men and women will give you cause to say with pride, he or she was my student. But it is to you, the class of 2015, that I speak today. I did give a lot of thought to the things I could talk about. There are indeed serious and important issues, namely what life was like when I was your age, the advice my commencement speaker shared with my graduating class, the path I took to go from college graduate to where I am today, and of course the most important and serious question of all, does Chip Kelly really know what the heck he's doing? But in the end, it's not about me, it's not about Chip, it's all about you. So what I'm going to talk about today is what matters, or more precisely, 8 things that I think matter as you consider the way you want to live your life and the person that you want to become in the months and years ahead. They are in no particular order. They are simply distilled from a lifetime of experiences growing up and living in this great city. And when you're at my age, you can decide whether you think I was right or whether you think I was wrong. Let us begin. Showing up matters. Woody Allen once said that 80% of success in life is just showing up. You have no idea how true that is. Showing up matters more than you know. It's not just about showing up to work or showing up to class. It's not just about showing up when it's easy or convenient or fun. It's showing up to the birthday party of an elderly relative because it will matter to him or to her. It's showing up on a cold winter night with a hot meal for a friend who may be sick in bed. It's showing up to support a colleague at an important presentation, even when the subject matter bores you silly. It's showing up at places that are far away when you are bone tired and it takes a lot of effort and you just don't feel like going. It's showing up when showing up is a sacrifice. And showing up matters because every time you do it, it says something about who you are and what matters to you. It says something about your character. And if you show up at the right places for friends and family, it shows that personal relationships and friendships are important to you. And let me tell you that personal relationships will make a difference in both your success and happiness in life. Results matter. Whether you are moving into the world of work, going on to postgraduate study, signing up for military service, or starting your own business, you will not be judged by how hard you try, but on what you actually do. In the real world, effort is appreciated, but results are rewarded. Your boss, your colleagues, your professors, your commanding officer, your business partner will be counting on you to pull your weight, to participate fully, to complete the job assigned to you. It's your responsibility, not just to try, but to deliver. And to do it again and again and again. No hesitation, no whining, no delays, no excuses. Results matter because they are the tangible proof of what you can do. Listening matters. Talk is not only cheap, it's easy. In fact, it's much easier than listening, which is a skill many of us would do well to acquire. Most of us tend to be what John Wayne describes as short on ears and long on mouth. We confuse listening with waiting for our turn to speak, and they are definitely not the same thing. We cannot learn from each other if we cannot hear one another. If I am focused on listening so that I can then respond, I am not focused on listening so that I can understand. Listening matters because I already know what I think, but it's the only way that I can learn what you think. And once I understand what you think, the door has opened on an opportunity for me to see the world in a different way. Engagement matters. For much of your life, you have probably been told where to go and what to do and how to get it done. You have had classes and schedules and structure. You have had teachers and family and others who love you, making sure you did what you needed to do when you needed to do it. As you engage with the world, it now becomes your job to figure out where to go and what to do and how to get it done. You will have considerable freedom, freedom to do great things or to do nothing, freedom to change the world or to retreat from it. I suggest that you become engaged, not that kind of engaged, the kind where you're fully engaged in life and everything that it can teach you. Open your mind and your heart to new experiences. Get involved, expand your horizons, make things happen. Go places, meet new people, stretch yourself, and perhaps most important of all, get out of your comfort zone. Life is in the doing. Engagement matters because it is the only way that you can become the person you were always meant to be. Excellence matters. Excellence is a rare commodity. If you cultivate the habit of excellence, you will develop a reputation that will prove of immeasurable value throughout your lifetime. Excellence is not perfection. In fact, the latter sometimes stifles the former. Excellence is striving to be the best you can possibly be. It's doing the best job you are capable of. It's never half-hearted or slipshod or inattentive. It is not an on-again, off-again thing. It's not a sideline or a hobby or a skill you can post on Facebook. You can't multitask your way to excellence. Excellence is the belief that doing a job means it is worth doing well, every time, every job. It is a personal commitment to yourself of your value and self-worth expressed in all you do. Excellence matters because there is always room at the top for excellence. Tolerance matters. I said in the beginning that these things that matter, that they are in no particular order, but I must admit that today, this is the one that matters the most to me. As you step into the adult world, you're going to meet a lot of people, all kinds of people. Some of them will seem to be just like you, and some of them will seem to be very different. Be careful what you assume about the people you meet, and keep an open mind about all of them. Never, ever put labels on people, and never, ever let people put labels on you. I can guarantee you that such action will limit your horizons, and you will never achieve the success you deserve if you let yourself live within the confines of a label. Do not define yourself in all things meaningful as a conservative, a liberal, a Democrat, or a Republican. Rather, be a free and open thinker. The best advice I ever received was from one of my mentors at my law firm, Andy Young. Truth be told, he was the true founder of Stradley Ronon, Stevens & Young. And on one occasion, I asked Andy the secret of his success, and he explained to me that as a practicing lawyer, it was as important to spend as much time thinking about your opponent's position as you do thinking about your own. Never be afraid to concede your opponent's point, even if you think it is, especially if you think it's the right thing to do. He also advised me that he didn't care if I was a liberal or conservative, but he felt that it was important for me to understand the arguments and the thinking of those individuals whose philosophy was different from my own. He encouraged me to read every day the Wall Street Journal, a somewhat conservative newspaper, and the New York Times, a somewhat liberal paper, because he thought it was dangerous just to educate yourself in areas which reinforced your own ideas as well as your own prejudices. If you are tolerant of others, you will think before you judge, and judging a person rarely defines who they are. More often it defines who you are. You have more to learn from people with thoughts and opinions different from your own than you do from those whose views and values mirror yours. Tolerance opens the door to listening, and listening opens the door to knowledge. Tolerance matters because without it, we tend to underestimate and undervalue those who are least like us. Nothing brings this fact home to me more than my viewing of a recent movie, The Imitation Game. I hope you have seen it, and if you haven't, I hope you will in the months to come. It was advertised as a film about the individuals who deciphered the Nazi transmission codes during World War II, thereby gaining invaluable intelligence about the German war effort. But it was far more than that. It was a lesson in life. To me, it was a story about intolerance, and the price we pay when we let others govern how we treat one another, and when we remain silent in the face of intolerance. It is a story about Alan Turing, a brilliant British mathematician and scientist who developed a machine which became the precursor to the modern-day computer. This machine successfully cracked the German transmission codes, and by all counts, this genius shortened World War II by almost 2 years, saving an estimated 14 million lives. I repeat, shortened World War II by almost 2 years, saving an estimated 14 million lives. Think about how few people in the history of the world have accomplished anything of such magnitude. And what was his reward? After the war, because he was a homosexual, he was charged with an obscure morality crime, which forced him to choose whether to undergo a horrendous medical procedure or face prison. It was a procedure which left him so depressed that he committed suicide at the age of 44. Here was a man who was the Steve Jobs of his generation, a man who could and did contribute so much to society, a man who ended his life because of the intolerance of the majority. As I look out at you, I think of Alan Turing's famous quote, which is cited in the movie. Sometimes it is the people no one imagines anything of who do the things that no one can imagine. Alan Turing did things that no one can imagine. Honor matters. This is a word you almost never hear anymore because we rarely talk much about honor these days. But honor matters. It was on my dad's list. He was a World War II vet and a postman all his life. And on the list of my mom, a seamstress for many years. And they made it clear to their 4 sons just how important honor is. Honor is about your character. It is about who you are at your core. It is about fairness and behaving with integrity. It is about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching. Honor is about honesty, beginning with being honest with yourself, admitting when you have done wrong, and making things right. And you will do many things wrong. Fess up to it and make it right. Honor is about being true to what you believe, even if what you believe does not make you popular. Honor is about living your life by a set of principles that you do not abandon when they become inconvenient. Honor is about believing something bigger and greater than yourself is what's most important. It may be God, it may be country, it may be duty or family or something else. But honor matters because it is about the very essence of you. I have to admit that the last thing I added to my list of things that matter did not develop until just a couple of weeks ago. I happened to be at a dinner with the CEO of a major financial institution. There were about a dozen of us together, all of us business leaders in the region, all of us kind of old curmudgeons in one way or another. And in short order, after a couple glasses of wine, we began discussing your generation. And guess what tops the list of things wrong with your generation? Allegedly, you spend too much time texting and emailing and not enough time listening and talking face to face. And consequently, you don't understand. You don't understand the importance of personal relationships in business and in life. In my defense, I did not agree with the businessmen who were there. But there you go. But I wanted to share with you a thought I had as to how we can prove these old fogies wrong, not the ones that clap, and change this false perception, because you have to deal with perception in life as much as you have to deal with reality. It's something that I do every day in my life, especially with the people who are important to me. And it's about the last item on my list of things that matters. It's simply this: hugs matter. H-U-G-S, hugs matter. In fact, hugs really matter. And so today, as you look around at all the people who have done so much for you, whether they be your parents, family members, the faculty, the administrators, and let's not forget dear old President Spinelli, don't you dare first text your thanks, and don't just shake their hand and say thank you. Instead, give them a big warm hug. Of course, as a lawyer, I have to advise you to make sure your huggee is accepting of it, and be gentle when you do it, especially with us old folks. I can assure you that by the time you let go, that hug will matter to them, and it will matter to you. So that's it, the 8 things that I think matter. As you go through life, you'll come up with your own list of things that matter, your own set of values that will guide your actions and your heart. But whatever they are, be true to yourself. The great orator and abolitionist Frederick Douglass said almost 200 years ago, "I prefer to be true to myself, even at the hazard of incurring the ridicule of others, rather than to be false and to incur my own abhorrence." So to be true to yourself, because you do in fact matter. And now, my young friends, I hope you will remember my words for at least a little while. I'm sure that many of you will go forward from this great university and accomplish things, as Alan Turing said, things that no one can imagine today. Thank you for letting me be a small part of your celebration.